Still to come on the ATP Champions Tour, we've got the best of the action from La Grande Sfida in Verona and Modena. And the legends put their knowledge of the host city in northern Italy to the test, as we find out who is the Modena mastermind. Modena, Italy, a city steeped in hundreds of years of history. It's famous for the production of balsamic vinegar, the manufacturer of sports cars, and as the birthplace of operatic legend Luciano Pavarotti. This small town played host to some big names of the ATP Champions Tour, as four men with 15 Grand Slam titles between them arrived to take part in La Grande Sfida, an event split between the two host cities of Modena and Verona.
Both, historic city. First of all, to play in Italy is just great because it's been a long time for me, and playing one night in Verona, the other night in here. It's just great to be back in Italy because they love the tennis, they love the game, and they probably love the way I'm playing too, and with the entertainment and everything. It's great to be back in Italy.
Well, Italy is a country that they have a lot of culture from tennis that everybody knows, everybody loves, and also it's nice to play here because the people really know about tennis. We have also the chance to see cities like Verona and Modena, which is both are amazing, and I love to see both.
The crowds have been great and a lot of energy, which is typical of sort of my past history when I came and played here. So I'm into it because they're very emotional like I am, and I feed off that, and I think the other players do as well.
It's nice to have a day off in between two matches. It's nice to get to see two cities, and I do think that the crowd is most probably better on average because they know there's only one night. I think it's great for us because you get to play on the same surface but in a different stadium in front of different people, so I think it's an excellent idea.
Each of the star quartet tasted success in Italy to varying degrees on the ATP World Tour, and the experience of playing here left an indelible mark.
Ultimately, this is a sport that they love in Italy, and so it makes you want to come back and play, and they aren't people that sit on their hands a whole lot, and that's the type of person I am, so I think ultimately we fed off each other well, and that works, hopefully, so that they were happy to see me, and I felt like I played well when I came here.
Palermo was the week after I'd become #1 in the world, and I went down there. I had a couple of security guards because I was #1 in the world, I'm assuming. But I remember going down there. I rode the wave of being #1 in the world for literally for 1 week, and that was the week of Palermo.
I remember I played in Foro Italico in Rome, I played in Firenze, and it was always something special because they love the game. They're really passionate. They're really into it. Especially when you're a shot maker like me, and they have a player like Fonini today, they go really crazy.
Just down the road from their Modena base, the players were able to sample the full Ferrari experience, with a trip to the museum and then a chance of a test drive.
I'm crazy about racing cars, and I've been following Formula 1 for many years, and we have really the opportunity to spend some time and to see what's all about. And it's like for me for someone who never been to Wimbledon. It's a culture, passion, respect, and it's really something unique.
Well, it's educational, certainly. They're very proud of their Ferraris in Italy, and you've got to be careful. When you drive, these guys know what they're doing, and we're sort of the amateur drivers.
I think everybody's dream, is to, at one point, own a Ferrari. And I've never driven one until today, actually. Driving a Ferrari makes me want to buy one, yes.
The first match action in Italy took place in Verona, and before the semi-final began, the stars warmed up with some aspiring young players.
To hit with the kids, I wish when I was a kid to hit with the top players that they won Grand Slams and all these things. I think it's very motivated for them, and I think it's important to do it.
I enjoy playing with people that are passionate about the game. It doesn't really matter what their level is. Obviously, if you have kids that are passionate, that's really, really fun. To them, I know it's a big deal. It would be the same as it would be a big deal for me to play in the Rolling Stones, for example. And if you're a tennis fan, I think John McEnroe is basically the Rolling Stones of tennis. So I think that it's great fun, yeah.
To mark the opening of the event, each player was unveiled, and there was a moving tribute to the victims of the attacks in Paris just days earlier. The draw for the semi-finals threw up two intriguing matches. First up, a clash between Henri Leconte and Sergi Bruguera. The Frenchman had never beaten his Spanish counterpart during their 5 meetings on the ATP World Tour and seemed more content with keeping the crowd entertained in set 1. Bruguera took the first set comfortably, but in the second, Leconte turned up the heat, and both men were at the peak of their game. But it was Bruguera who made the final in Modena.
It was a very good match. I enjoy, and they also, the crowd enjoyed. That's the most important. It was difficult to play because the court is very fast, but it was, I think, it was a very good match.
The second semi-final saw the two oldest competitors in the field, Mats Wilander and John McEnroe, face off. These two are both 7-time Grand Slam champions, and there was real quality on display at times. The head-to-head between these two on the ATP World Tour favoured McEnroe 7-6, and the American held a slender advantage midway through the first set, with a break in hand. He closed out the first set, and backed by a boisterous crowd, McEnroe continued to excel on serve in the second set. A single break was enough for the 3-time Wimbledon champion to beat his Swedish counterpart for the second time this season on the ATP Champions Tour.
Mats and I have a great history when we play, and so he's a good rival, and he's been a great one over the years, and I felt like I was on top of things, so that automatically makes you feel better.
Before the players made their way back to compete in Modena, we put the stars' knowledge of their host city to the test to find out which of the 4 would be crowned Modena Mastermind.
Modena is famous for producing which of these condiments? Olive oil, balsamic vinegar, or mustard?
Balsamic vinegar.
Well, I'm going to go with like balsamic vinegar.
Balsamic vinegar.
Balsamic.
Correct, and I'm not that stupid. They give me one in my room.
Pavarotti is Modena's most famous son, but can you name the group formed by him and his fellow opera singers Placido Domingo and Jose Carreras? Either the 3 baritones, the 3 tenors, or the 3 sopranos?
3 tenors.
I'm going to go with the 3 tenors.
The 3 tenors?
I think the 3 baritone.
Modena is the home of Ferrari, but who was the last Ferrari driver to win the Formula 1 championships? Michael Schumacher, Fernando Alonso, or Kimi Raikkonen?
I am going to go with
Schumacher.
Kimi Raikkonen.
I believe it was Michael Schumacher.
I think Raikkonen.
I'm an idiot.
And finally, which of the 4 players playing here this weekend has won the most ATP titles in Italy?
Oh my gosh. I'm going to go with, let's see, Mats, me.
Oh, that's complicated.
It has to be Sergi Bruguera.
John or Mats?
Forget Henri.
I think Mats Wilander.
I will pick Mats.
This is a trick question, I have a feeling. Sergi Bruguera.
Okay, I don't know anything about tennis, so don't count on me. Don't bet anything.
You're being too hard on yourself, John. It was you with your 4 Milan titles.
Oh, really? Oh, damn. I'm no good, I mean. I'm glad I was wrong.
So in the final standings of Modena Mastermind 2015, bringing up the rear is Henri Leconte with 1 point from 4. Mats Wilander finishes in third place with 2 points, but tied at the top, the two finalists in Modena, masterminds John McEnroe and Sergi Bruguera, with 3 points each. Mats Wilander and Henri Leconte contested the third-fourth place playoff in the Pala Panini in Modena. The flamboyant Frenchman had only beaten Wilander twice in 13 ATP World Tour meetings, but he took the match to the Swede in the opening stages. But it wasn't long before the former ATP World Tour year-end #1 found a breakthrough on the Leconte serve. Trailing in the opening set, Leconte, a former Roland Garros finalist, was in need of a pick-me-up to find a way back into the match. And the candy break would work wonders for Leconte. He immediately broke back. Very sweet. As the set wore on, it was Wilander who was looking the more likely to snatch the advantage. The Swede was painting the lines in the 11th game. And with the required break, the three-time Australian Open champion held firm, serving for the set. In the early stages of the second set, the Frenchman was keeping the crowd entertained, on and off the court. Luckily, he couldn't find the keys. Leconte secured a break advantage and was turning on the style whenever possible. And the 52-year-old levelled the match on the Wilander serve in the grand manner. So the match would be decided by a champion's tiebreak. It was Wilander who took a mini-break advantage with a delicate lob. From there he did not look back, winning 5 of the next 6 points to seal a third-place finish at La Grande Sofida. A thoroughly entertaining match for the sellout crowd in Modena. The final at the Pala Panini saw John McEnroe and Sergi Bruguera go toe-to-toe, having never met on the ATP World Tour. Right from the off, this looked to be a colourful encounter, and the American snatched an early advantage, breaking Bruguera in only the second game. The Spaniard, though, was not about to let the set run away from him. Despite Bruguera's flair in defence, McEnroe remained in the ascendancy and was giving the Italian crowd exactly what they'd come to see. The older man by 12 years, McEnroe was determined not to let the scoreline reflect the age discrepancy. He sealed the opening set. Former Roland Garros champion Bruguera changed his tactics in set 2 and found some early joy at the net. It was a second set of fine margins, with both men committing everything, as Bruguera snuffed out another McEnroe breakpoint. Midway through the set came a moment of controversy. McEnroe appeared to find a line with a pass, only for it to be ruled out by a line judge, who wasn't heard over the boisterous crowd. Cue some trademark outrage from the American.
Unbelievable, man. That is just outright highway robbery!
But that anger only seemed to fuel McEnroe's desire to finish the match in straight sets. The former world number one found the crucial break soon after. And then the seven-time major winner powered through, serving out the match to clinch La Grande Safuda.
The last couple of years that I played in Italy, the crowds have been unbelievable, and they're so passionate, and they remind me of someone, myself, so they get really into it, but they lift me up, and you gotta want to play for the people that come out like this, and it's been great the last two times, but this time the court was playing very quick, and that suited my game against my opponents.
So John McEnroe heads to the season-ending finale at the Royal Albert Hall in London as the man in form. In the ATP Champions Tour rankings table, there's a three-way tie for top, with Thomas Enquist, Pete Sampras and John McEnroe all on 700 points. Tied for fourth are James Blake, Xavier Malisse, Alex Corretja and Fernando Gonzalez, all on 400 points.